Just as expected, like freaking clockwork, the family of the violent, low impulse control thug that killed Austin Metcalf have now spoken out. And I don't even have to read for you all what they said, because you could probably guess for yourself. Yeah, you're right. They're riding with the "he ain't did nothing wrong" defense. They're riding with the "oh, my son's a good kid. Why are you judging my son? My son's a future rocket scientist, a future brain surgeon." Basically, they are playing the victim, as to be expected. Typical, no accountability, blame everything on white people behavior. The type of behavior that we see all too often in this country these days. Now, I'm going to go over what the killer's family had to say in just a moment. But first, we now have a better idea of what actually happened. We have more details about what actually happened. Now, as you guys know, this all went down at a track meet. The different schools and teams at this track meet, they have their own sections in the bleachers. Most schools or most teams have their own little tent in the bleachers where that team or that school congregates. And members of that team or that school, they keep their belongings under their little tents in their sections. Now, at a lot of these little track meets that have been happening, kids' items have gone missing. Kids' backpacks have gone missing. Items out of kids' backpacks have gone missing. Nobody knows who's stealing this stuff. I wonder who. No one knows. But they've had a problem with people's stuff getting stolen. So I guess people from Austin school, they saw Carmelo Anthony. That's the killer's name, by the way, named after a basketball player. They saw Carmelo Anthony hovering around their section, hanging around their section, antagonizing some people. Some sort of argument or something was taking place. And Austin asked Carmelo to leave. Because, like I said, Carmelo was in his school section. Carmelo was in Austin's school section, right? Hovering around everyone's belongings, doing Lord knows what. There was already an argument or an exchange of words between Carmelo and some other people. Austin asked Carmelo to leave. Now, when Austin asked Carmelo to leave, Carmelo opened up his backpack. He showed that he had a weapon, a knife, and he said, "Make me." Now, at this point, Austin wasn't sure what Carmelo was capable of. For one, why is this kid in my school section antagonizing us? And why did he bring a weapon to a track meet? We're out here to run track and do sports. There's no need for a weapon unless you plan on doing something bad. So when Austin saw Carmelo flash the weapon in his backpack, Austin reached for the backpack, tried to get the backpack away from Carmelo because he saw that Carmelo had a weapon. And then Carmelo proceeded to take the knife out the backpack and stab Austin right in the heart. And then afterwards, he ran away like a coward. That's how this situation actually went down. And it turns out that Carmelo is actually very proud of what he did. And we'll get into that in just a moment. But first, let's listen to this ridiculous nonsense that Carmelo's father had to say. The father of a Texas teen accused of fatally stabbing a football star from a rival school over a seat at the stadium says his son is a good kid who was provoked to violence. Your son's a good kid that's bringing knives to track meets and stabbing people in the heart. Such a good kid. Such a scholar, right? Let's go forward. Everyone has already made their assumptions about my son, but he's not what they're making him out to be. What are we making him out to be? A violent thug that killed an innocent kid at a track meet? That's exactly who and what your son is. You don't get to say, "Oh, everyone's making my son out to be something that he's not." What, a murderer? Because that's what your son is. Over a small mini altercation, something that most people, listen, all of us go through these little altercations in our life, and most of us just move on. We don't even think about it again. But Carmelo, no, he had to take the knife out and kill Austin. And his family, is, oh, he ain't did nothing. And this is why Carmelo is the way he is. This is why Carmelo killed Austin. Because he has parents. He has parents that didn't raise him right. That didn't teach him the meaning of accountability. Didn't teach him the difference between right and wrong. And that's why we're even talking about this discussion at all. As a parent of a child who just violently stabbed someone at a track meet, you don't need to be speaking out saying, oh, he's not what people are making him out to be. He is everything people are making him out to be, and you're everything that people are making you out to be. But let's go further. He's a good kid. He works 2 jobs. He's an A student. He has a 3.7 GPA. He was not the aggressor. He was not the one who started it. Last time I checked, if you're someone who plunges a knife into the chest of another person over a seating arrangement, you are the aggressor. You don't get to say that, oh yeah, my kid stabbed him in the heart because he grabbed a backpack, but he's not the aggressor. But that's what I'm talking about. The no accountability. No accountability at all. It's sad to see, but when you see this type of response, it helps you better understand why we have this problem in this country. And not just this country, other countries as well. But this is why we have this problem. Because not only are a lot of you in the audience not willing to accept that this is wrong and call out this problem for what it is, the parents aren't willing to do so either. So what's going to happen is we're going to continue having these upcoming generations of Carmelo Anthonys. That's what we're going to have. Violent young kids doing Lord knows what, not even thinking about the repercussions, not thinking about the consequences because their parents have taught them and society has taught them that they can do no wrong. You better not call out the crimes of what Carmelo Anthony did. You better not call it out or you're a racist. You're a bad person. There's more people online upset about people acknowledging the issue with this story than there are people upset about what happened to Austin Metcalf. And that's what's sad. But as I said earlier, Carmelo Anthony, and it feels weird calling him that over and over again, he's actually proud of what he did. He wanted the police to know that he did it. He wanted people to know that he did it. Now, I bet some of you are asking, why would he be proud about doing this? Why would he want people to know that he did this? Well, you see, for people like Carmelo, when you kill someone, you get a lot of respect in the streets. You get a lot of cool points. You get people looking up to you. You get people treating you almost like a celebrity. I know a lot of the people watching this video are older, and you don't understand how younger people work these days. Or more specifically, you don't understand how younger black kids act these days and what they're going through in their communities. You see, a lot of these young kids, they're treating life like a video game. And when you kill someone, when a young black kid kills another young black kid, they get respect, they get cool points, they get admiration. They actually, depending on where you live, there's different lingo. But when they kill someone, they call it taking a soul or upping the score. Literally, you'll have 2 sides of town, young black men on each side of town killing young black men on the other side of town, and they keep a score like a video game. And often when they kill another young black man, they get together and they celebrate, they roll up weed, and when they smoke their blunts, they say, hey, I'm smoking that Antoine pack. I'm smoking Terrell pack. They basically make fun of the people they just killed and say they're smoking them in their joints. It's stuff that's going to be really hard for a lot of you watching this to understand, but it's stuff that is happening. So I want you guys to realize that Carmelo's friends, they're all bragging about what Carmelo did. They're making fun of the fact that Austin died. They're posting Instagram statuses. They're making little rap songs, all this type of stuff. I just wish that a lot of you had the same life experiences that I did. because then you would better understand what I'm talking about. I mean, for example, even here in Florida, places like Jacksonville are terrible. Look up Julio Fulio and Young and Ace. These two rappers from Jacksonville who have basically been having kind of a gang war for years. Go look it up on YouTube. It's interesting. And you'll see the mentality. The mentality of, oh, it's nothing to take another person's life. In fact, you get celebrated for doing so. It's really sad, but it's part of black culture. It's a part of black culture that people don't want to acknowledge. Black people know it's true. White people know it's true. Everyone knows it's true, but no one wants to talk about the issue. I'm going to talk about the issue here, and I don't care how people feel about it, because one thing you can do, you can call me every name under the book. You can't call me a liar. Go check out the crime statistics before you even drop a comment on this video, because if you ain't talking the actual statistics, then you ain't talking about nothing. But let's go ahead and hop into this man's last words, Carmelo Anthony's last words before getting arrested. The chilling words teen told cops after allegedly stabbing Texas football star Austin Metcalf, who died in his twin brother's arms. The teenager accused of fatally stabbing Austin Metcalf and leaving him to die in his twin's arms at a high school track meet allegedly admitted to the senseless killing. I'm not alleged, I did it, 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony chillingly told police in Frisco, Texas, as he was being arrested. So you see, the police, even though they knew Carmelo did it, they're still treating it like, oh, alleged this. Carmelo's like, nah, screw all of that alleged stuff. I did it. I want people to know I did it. I don't want there to be a question of, did Carmelo do this or did he not? I want people to know I did it. Put a stamp on it, right? Put a stamp on it. Let the world know what I did. Because my friends at school, they're all going to think this is cool. They're all going to celebrate this. Now I got a body. That's what they call it. Now he has a body under his belt, right? Literally, you got young black kids out on the street right now that brag about how many bodies they got. You got kids that are like 15 who have already killed 3 or 4 people. It's wild what's going on out here in these streets. But like I said, a lot of the people watching this video, they live guarded lives and they don't understand the harsh reality of the streets. I do. But let's go forward. The horrific stabbing was sparked when Anthony, who was sitting under another team's pop-up tent as it rained Wednesday morning, was asked by Metcalf to move, and Anthony refused. Anthony then unzipped a bag, reached inside, and told Metcalf, whom he had never met before at all, "Touch me and see what happens," a witness told police. Moments later, Metcalf grabbed Anthony to tell him to move, and Anthony pulled out a knife, a black knife, and stabbed Austin once in the heart. Anthony then ran away before he was chased down and arrested. A coward. Going to school, I had little altercations like this on an almost daily basis. Little altercations that you kind of think nothing of. Maybe I would be an asshole to someone at school, or someone would be an asshole to me. You know, you nearly get in a fight, or you actually get in a fight. I've been in plenty of fights in my life. But I just can't imagine, all of these little altercations, these little misunderstandings that you have in school. I can't imagine just pulling out a knife and killing someone over it. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sitting in your seat and you touch my backpack. Yeah! You know what I mean? But that's what happens when you have low impulse control people with bad parents who won't acknowledge the problems in their culture. Instead, they glorify violence. Oh, let's go listen to some drill rap. Let's listen to rappers talk about how they kill this person and rob this person. So to sit here and act like violence and this type of violence isn't just all just intertwined within black culture and hip hop culture, you're crazy. You're insane. And I'm not going to entertain a conversation with anyone that denies that, because that's reality. I didn't make that reality. I don't want things to be this way. I don't want to wake up every day and read the news and see, 2 or 3 young black people were just killed in my city. But that's the reality I wake up to every day. So just thinking about all of the things I went through in high school and middle school, every little argument, every little altercation that never ended up in something like this. You know what I mean? Like who in their right mind, this is your immediate reaction? I'm going to take out a knife and stab you in the heart because I'm sitting somewhere I shouldn't be sitting? And regardless of what the argument or altercation was over, taking out a knife at a school track meet and killing someone on the bleachers, that's not good. Yet there's going to be so many people defending Carmelo's actions because, like I said, no accountability. Blame everything on white people. If you want to better understand this problem, then look no further than the videos that I put out on this topic. Because you see, if a young white kid killed Austin Metcalf, I would have covered the story. I would have talked about issues that young white kids are dealing with in their communities, and no one would have had a problem with it. Everyone would have acknowledged that this is a tragic story, plain and simple. But because it was a young black kid that killed Austin Metcalf, I don't get that same response. You know, I've literally had to put out 3 videos now, folks. I've literally had to put out 3 videos explaining to grown-ass adults why it's wrong to stab another kid in the chest at a track meet. If a white kid did this to Austin, there would be no need for explanation. Everyone would condemn it. Everyone would say it's wrong. But because a young black kid killed Austin, I've had to make 3 videos explaining why. Why it's wrong to stab someone in the chest over a seating arrangement at a high school track meet. So that's where we're at. That's the problem, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, no accountability at all. And it's like, when you present this story, instead of people acknowledging, hey man, that's messed up, that's evil, that's terrible, what you get is whataboutisms. Oh yeah, well, I saw that black kid stabbed the white kid at the track meet, but what about when white people kill people? What about all the white people that kill people? We talk about white people killing people on this channel like every day. No one has a problem with that though, right? Then you get the whataboutisms. Well, what about school shooters? What about this? Well, I would suggest that you look at the statistics. Because black kids commit more school shootings than white kids, by far. It's not the type of school shootings you usually think about. Half the time, they don't even include them in the statistics. Half the time, they don't even report them on the news because we've grown so used to the violence. We've grown so used to the violence. And like I said, you better check your statistics before you come trying to argue with me. Because I know what I'm talking about, and I checked the numbers well before I ever made this video. I don't speak out of my ass. I don't speak out of the side of my neck. So instead of just acknowledging how horrible and tragic this story is, you could look at the comments under my video. You could look at the reactions from people online to the story. It's all whataboutism. No one can condemn this young man. No one can say that he's wrong. He's a monster for what he did. No one can hold him accountable for his crimes. No, it's what about what this white person did? What about what that white person did? What about this and what about that? And what about the fact that Carmelo Anthony just stabbed someone in the chest? What about that? But unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get anywhere. I don't think this story is going to make any things better. No one's going to actually acknowledge the problem. I'm one of the very few people that you will see that is willing to talk about the issue. But unfortunately, how this is going to go is that in a couple of weeks, people will forget this story ever happened. And then another story just like it will happen. People will be outraged for a couple of days. They'll say, oh, well, what if the races were reversed? And then we'll just go back to acting like it never happened. And it's just going to be a revolving door. Because unfortunately, that's what this is. And until people acknowledge the issues that are going on, nothing's going to be solved. But for now, you guys let me know what you think of this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.